The Bureaucracy of Belief, returning science to the edge of discovery. For generations, humanity has labored under a quiet, pervasive form of psychological erosion. We are told by institutional gatekeepers that if a phenomenon cannot be measured by their narrow instruments or approved by their risk-averse peer review boards, it simply does not exist. Most scientists enter their profession because they are driven by curiosity and a genuine desire to understand reality. The challenge is not the scientific spirit itself, but the institutional systems surrounding modern research. Funding structures, publication pressures, career incentives, and bureaucratic oversight can unintentionally discourage exploration beyond established paradigms. This article is a critique of those systems, not of the scientists who often work within them. When institutions reject phenomena before studying them, science risks limiting its own capacity for discovery and moving away from its foundational purpose, to investigate reality wherever the evidence leads. Genuine discovery demands the courage to look directly at what is unfamiliar, to test the impossible, and to expand the framework of human understanding rather than shrinking reality to fit a laboratory box. The human cost of institutional gaslighting. When institutions instantly dismiss people's direct, lived experiences as non-existent, the damage goes far beyond a disagreement over data. It inflicts deep psychological harm, acting much like an epigenetic wound passed down through generations. When people are constantly told that their reality isn't real, it forces them to suppress their own intuition, gifts, and truth just to survive. The human mind tries to process that invalidation in many ways: self-doubt and loss of trust. If people are told that a fundamental part of who they are and the information they are receiving is false, they begin doubting their knowledge on everything. They stop trusting themselves entirely. Dissolving gifts. Burdened by constant invalidation, people often suppress their innate capacities, causing their unique gifts to dissolve out of fear of not being normal. Severe mental toll. Without healthy coping mechanisms, this ongoing gaslighting triggers severe depression, anxiety, insomnia, and an underlying fear of expressing one's authentic self in front of others. People may occasionally misunderstand or misinterpret things, but the existence of millions of similar reports of people experiencing profound awakenings, inner clarity, and consistent patterns does not automatically prove the experiences are what people believe them to be, but it does make them worthy of careful, unbiased investigation. Ignoring mass human observation is a systemic failure of science, not a failure of reality. Exposing the institutional illusion. To understand how the scientific field lost its way, one only has to look at the machinery behind the curtain. Modern research is chained to risk-averse grant boards, corporate interests, and the fear of paradigm shifts. True skepticism means withholding judgment while demanding evidence. Modern scientism, however, frequently operates as a closed belief system that protects legacy textbooks over the pursuit of truth. Yet, the contradiction is glaring. Mainstream science loudly proclaims that certain phenomena don't exist, while classified intelligence archives, such as the decades of deep research conducted by the CIA alongside the Monroe Institute, demonstrate that government agencies considered these subjects worthy of investigation. The state and its institutions have spent a very long time studying consciousness and alternate perception, keeping it under glass while telling the public it is mere fringe. People can easily spot this illusion by looking at the lack of open, honest research in public institutions and contrasting it with the millions experiencing conscious awakenings today. When you realize the suppression is driven by control, the illusion begins to crack. The blueprint for grassroots renewal. The solution is not to wait for gatekeepers to change their minds. The future of true discovery lies outside closed institutional walls. If people who value truth come together to pool their resources, they can build their own valid, independent research institutions, far exceeding past classified efforts to study consciousness and human potential deeply and transparently. When independent teams conduct rigorous observation, map the connections, and publish their findings openly, the data becomes undeniable. By bypassing centralized gatekeeping and embracing open-source grassroots inquiry, we strip away the aura of infallibility protecting institutional science and return the scientific method to the people, reclaiming our wholeness and true connection. When we finally break through the control, remove the blockages and prove what is truly possible, it will change humanity at its core. People constantly strive for interconnectiveness through social media and digital spaces, but that is rarely real connection. True connection happens when our consciousness drops the veil, allowing us to fully integrate into the whole while retaining our individuality. We move through life on a flowing current, navigating obstacles freely, pulling on a wellspring of deep inner wisdom and lifetimes of information when we remember who we are. When we connect to the consciousness around us, we awaken to the reality that there is infinitely more to this existence than we were ever led to believe. By opening our minds, releasing our traumas, and stepping into our sovereignty, we heal the collective divide and harmonize the way we were always meant to. I speak of this not just as an outside observer, but as someone walking this exact path. Going through this unique awakening process means navigating a world that tells you your perception is an error, even as your direct experience shows you something infinitely vast. Walking through that door requires dismantling old fears, shedding the need for external validation, and learning to trust the deep, undeniable truth of what you are living every single day. Reflection. If millions of people are independently waking up to profound inner shifts, expanded awareness, and realities that institutional science refuses to touch, why are we still conditioned to suffer this awakening in silence? And what happens to a society that forces its most vital human experiences into the shadows? Voices calling for a return to open inquiry. Dr. Donald Hoffman, cognitive scientist whose mathematical models challenge conventional assumptions about reality and argue that consciousness may be more fundamental than our perceptions suggest. Dr. Alex Gomez-Marin, physicist and neuroscientist advocating for open scientific inquiry and cautioning against institutional dogmatism that can discourage investigation of unexplained phenomena. University of Virginia, Division of Perceptual Studies, academic researchers applying rigorous empirical methods to the study of consciousness, near-death experiences, and other anomalous human experiences. If this resonates with you, please like, share, and subscribe to, for more articles like this. Sabbath Jezulaya.